What's up guys, Ryan here from Mud Gunner, and today we are doing viewer builds. I do this video every single Friday, and each week it's a new theme. This week's theme is 50 Shades of FDE, or FDE Friday. So all the builds today are going to be FDE inspired. We got a variety of good builds that were submitted. If you want to be in next week's viewer build video, stay tuned until the end and I show you how you can get into that. And one thing to note, if you do submit, please use high quality pictures. Most of the time they're pretty decent, but I do still get some really blurry pictures. So ideally use a good camera, horizontal, because vertical pictures don't show very well. And then other than that, just like one or two pictures is fine, front and back. But yeah, enjoy all these really cool builds that we got this week. Alright guys, so as always I just go in the order that I received them in. This first build comes from Shawn, and let's check it out. So we have a Sig Sauer 11.5-inch spear, which is their newest Gen 3 MCX. So this one is the 11.5, which means it's most likely a 5.56. He's got a Silencerco Velos LBP suppressor on there. He is running an Aimpoint T2 on a Castle riser. I haven't heard of Castle before. It's Castle with a K. He's got an EOTech G43 magnifier on the Unity fast mount, and that Unity fast mount puts the magnifier straight below the T2 when you're not using it, instead of flipping it to the side like the factory EOTech mount. He's running a Magpul CTR stock with an Irregular Defense cheek riser. He's got a dye-free King Fu grip, which this is, I think, the second time I've heard of this company now. That grip looks nice, but I haven't ever held one. He's got a Radiant Ambi safety selector. He's got a Grave Solutions / House Party Distro sling. He is running an Arisaka hand stop, an Arisaka light mount, and then he's got a Mod Light dual fuel with a Unity light switch. And then, back to the receiver, he's got a Radiant MCX charging handle. And yeah, that build looks really nice. I like the two-tone of the black and FDE on there. And yeah, other than that, it looks really good. Thank you for sharing, Shawn. Alright, our next build comes from Wilson, and this is his Diamondback build. So, he's got a Diamondback DB15, it's a 16-inch 5.56. He's got a Magpul SL stock with the enhanced rubber butt pad. He's running an H2 buffer weight on there. He's got a Breek Arms Ambi Sledgehammer charging handle, which it's kind of hard to see charging handles from the pictures, but I haven't heard of that company before. He's got an Aero Precision nickel boron bolt carrier group, a Magpul bad lever. He's running LaRue MBT 2-stage trigger. It's 4.5 pounds overall. The first stage is 2.5 and the second stage is 2. 2-stage triggers are very nice, and LaRue makes really good stuff. He's got a Magpul MOE grip, and it looks like he's also got some like goon tape or grip tape on there, hockey tape, the OG way. He's got a Sig Sauer Romeo 5 and the Juliet 3 magnifier, and they're both on Unity mounts. The one is a fast mount micro and one is an Omni 2.26. So the Omni mount would be for the Romeo. That's one thing I've never used yet, is Unity mounts on any of my red dots. Not because I don't want to, just I've never gotten around to it, but they are really popular nowadays. He's running a Magpul vertical grip. He's got a UTG super slim front sight. He's got a flatline fiber sling in wolf gray, a Dead Air Chemo flash hider, and then he's running a Dead Air Sandman S suppressor with the e-brake. He's got a Streamlight ProTac HLX, which is a 1000 lumen light, and then he says with Schaefer, M-Lock mount, and Scout Arisaka. I am not familiar with Schaefer. I can't tell which part is the Arisaka, so forgive me on that. I don't know if it's the top mount for the pressure pad. Sorry about that. I can't tell because it looks like the top of the rail instead of Picatinny would be M-Lock. So I'm not familiar with that M-Lock light pressure pad he has on top. I haven't seen that before, but it looks really good on there. And then he's got Magpul covers. And then you didn't mention it, but he's got some cool stickers on the side. I can't read what they say from here. And he says he's currently waiting on a BPG Dead Air FDE cover. Yeah, this is a super nice build, and that's probably one of the nicer Diamondback builds I've seen. So thank you for sharing, Wilson. Alright, so this next one comes from Nate. And yeah, let's get into it. That looks like a lot of FDE. Alright, from front to back, we have a Precision Armament Hyper-Tap muzzle brake. We have Magpul MBus 3 flip-up sights, which are the new polymer, but like low-profile flip-up sights, kind of like their MBus Pros. He's got a Streamlight ProTac rail mount HLX. He's running an Aerosocket Defense inline scout mount, which is for that light on the side of the rail. He's got Magpul M-Lock rail covers Type 2. He's got a BCM 16-inch complete upper and bolt carrier group. That's cool. I haven't seen a complete flat dark earth upper like that. He's got Picatinny rail covers on top. He's got a Magpul M-Lock vertical grip, so that's their MVG. He's running a Holosun HS510C reflex sight. And then he just put optic riser. I can't tell. That looks like a Unity, but I can't tell. Unity or Reptilia, to me those still look very similar to each other. I haven't seen enough of them side by side to know the difference. But he just put optic riser. He's got a Holosun HM3X magnifier on there. He's running a Radian Raptor SD charging handle. He's got an Odinworks XMR extended mag release. He's running the Aero Precision M4E1 stripped lower receiver. He's got a TriggerTech diamond flat trigger. He's got a Radian safety selector, a Magpul MOE K2 pistol grip, a Magpul bad lever, which is your extended bolt catch and release if you didn't know. He's got an HRF Concepts RCM magwell. He used a CMMG lower parts kit. He's got a Magpul Gen 3 window mag. He's got 10 of them, nice. I always say you should have at least 10 mags. Anderson manufacturing buffer tube kit. He's got a JP Enterprise silent capture spring in there. A Magpul CTR stock. He's got a Blue Force padded Vickers sling. And then a Sentry strap. That's probably the strap over the M-Lock handguard, which I believe that's a sling retention. Am I right on that? I've never used one, but I believe that's what that is just by looking at it. But yeah, thank you for sharing, Nate. That's a really nice build. Again, I really like that BCM upper too. I didn't know they do FDE, but I like that you kind of did your 50 shades of FDE on it, because honestly, you don't need all the FDE to match it. It looks good when it doesn't match. So, yep, thank you again. Let's move on. Alright, so this next one comes from Ryland. This is the third video that he's going to be in for his build, so thank you for consistently sharing. Alright, let's get into his build list. So, he's got a 14.5-inch Ballistic Advantage barrel with a Surefire 3-prong flash hider, and it's a pin and weld, and then he's waiting to get a Surefire RC2 FDE suppressor, which, yeah, that would be great on there, and it looks specifically like it's the War Comp. The War Comp has the little ports on the sides, and then they do just a standard 3-prong flash hider as well. But yeah, that looks good on there. He's got a BCM quad rail, which also looks like a factory FDE BCM quad rail, so that's cool. I haven't seen these BCM parts in FDE yet, so I dig that, and I'm a big fan of quad rails too. He's got a Tango Down QD vertical grip, and I like those QD ones way more than the direct mount ones, because their direct mount ones, even though they're significantly cheaper, they are a pain to take on and off. The quick detach one is much easier. I use a lot of those vertical grips. He's got Aero Precision M4E1 receivers, an FDE upper, and then a Kodiak Brown lower. He's got a SIG Romeo 7 on there. He's got a B5 pistol grip, and then a forward control selector. He's got the Aero Kodiak Brown receiver extension, which is your buffer tube. He's got the BCM stock on there, and then he's got a TamFam Topo Breach charging handle and desk cover. That's cool. It's hard to tell the Topo from the picture, but if you look up TamFamgram on Instagram, he does a lot of Topo stuff. And then you didn't mention it, but it looks like he has a Haley strategic, I don't know if that's like the Insight Thorntail mount, but it's like a light mount. He just doesn't have a light on there yet. Yeah, nice FDE sling would look good on there as well. And then he put down here, he hasn't decided on a flashlight yet, but he'll gladly take suggestions. I mean, I've been a big fan of the mod lights and Cloud Defensive recently. I still like Surefire lights, but just all my mod lights and Cloud Defensive lights I like more, to be honest. But yeah, he'll take suggestions on lights. And then he had a good idea, so for future episodes, you think it'd be cool to do like World War I firearms or Cold War firearms, or just topics to get off the ARs. I agree, that would be a cool topic. I don't know if I'll do that for next week. I need to like figure out what guns would kind of fall into that category. Like I know a little bit about those, but I'm not an expert on all that stuff. But I do have some old guns, and that would be cool categories. So I'll think about some cool video ideas based off that. So thank you for sharing, Ryland. Alright, so for this next build, These pictures are showing really small on my email, and then I tried to open it on my desktop, and they're very small too. So I don't know how well this is going to show in video. Also, I didn't get a name, but I'm just going to use the number from your email. This comes from 6, which kind of reminds me of the gray man from Netflix. I'll go through your build list, but again, these pictures are really hard to see. So just going forward, if you can try to send a little bit clearer picture or higher quality, that'd be awesome. But I'll run through your build list. I just don't know how well it'll show in video. So we got a Surefire RC2 suppressor, a Surefire 4-prong flash hider, an FN 14.5-inch government profile barrel with a mid-length gas system, a Daniel Defense Mark 12 gas block, a Geisley Mark 16 handguard in DDC, Magpul backup iron sight FDE. He's got air socket defense 18650 series light with a Malkov head and FDE on an air socket mount, a mod button pressure switch in FDE. He's got rail scales on there. He's got Magpul M-Lock rail covers type 1. And he says OD green, which again, it's just hard for me to see in the picture. A Camoform wrap and multicam. Magpul VFG. Oh, so Magpul vertical grip. I think that's their MVG, as long as that's the M-Lock mounted one. He's got a Colt M4 upper with an M16 bolt carrier group, or a Colt M16 bolt carrier group. Geisley airborne charging handle. He's got an EOTech EXPS 3-0 and then an EOTech G33 magnifier. He's got a Geisley SSA trigger, Sons of Liberty Gunworks lower receiver with the Voltor A5 buffer system. He's got a Springco green buffer spring and an H2 buffer, Magpul K2 grip. He's got a Magpul trigger guard, and then a Magpul MOE SL stock. And then he's running a Ferro Concept sling. And yeah, this is one of the rifles he uses for work. So thank you for sharing, 6. I'm just, sorry I can't show it better, but just if you do future videos, just try to send a little bit clearer pictures. But thank you for sharing. I appreciate you submitting for this. So yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. So this next one comes from Jose. He's also posted on the channel before. He has his own YouTube channel, Angel Silver 4 T7, and this one looks sweet. So it's a LWRC M6A2 piston FDE SBR and 5.56. It's a 10.5-inch barrel, and he bought it back in 2010. So it's one of their older ones. All right, from tip to butt, he's got a Silencerco Omega 36M suppressor. He's got a Silencerco muzzle brake, the AC142, which is the part number. He's got Troy Industries flip-up sights. He's running a Surefire KM3 FDE white/IR flashlight. So that would be their vampire flashlight. He's got a Magpul XTM FDE hand stop. He's got an EOTech L3 XPS2 sight. And the XPS is the non-quick detach. We see a lot of EXPS, but the XPS are still cool too. They're just a little bit lower, so full co-witness optic instead of the lower 1/3 from the quick detach ones. So yeah, XPS2. He's got a GG&G quick detach locking lever for it. He's got a Rainier Arms Raptor by AXTS. So that would be the charging handle. So before Radian used to be Radian, they were called AXTS. He's got a Knights Armament ambidextrous magazine release. He's got a Battle Arms ambidextrous safety selector. He's got a skeletonized drop-in Timney trigger. He's got a Magpul P-Mag with window, his Clipazine. He's got a Magpul Myad pistol grip, the mission adaptable one. So yeah, those Myad grips are cool because you can change them into a bunch of different configurations. He's got a Voltor buttstock, and then he's got a Magpul MS4 QD sling. And yeah, that's a sweet little SBR setup, and that's piston driven, so I bet it shoots pretty nice. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Jose. Go check out his YouTube channel. All right, this next one comes from Chuck, and this is his Mark 18 setup. Looks awesome. So from tip to butt, we got a Rex 5.56 suppressor with a dead air chemo mount. He's got a Mark 18 upper, which, let me look, is it all Daniel Defense? It looks to be all Daniel Defense. He's got a full power PEC 15 on there. He's got a Surefire Vampire light with a Unity Axis dual switch. He's got an Elcan DR, which, I mean, it kind of looks like an old one. I don't know all Elcans, but is this still considered the Spectre DR? I don't know if there's a difference between the two, but he just put DR, so I believe that should still be the 1-to-4 power optic. And I just got into Elcans this year, but I really like them so far. For his lower, he's got a Noveske N4, and I think that would be a Gen 1 if I'm not mistaken, because it doesn't have the built-in trigger guard. I've kind of learned a little bit about those, so correct me if I'm wrong. He's got a Geisley SD 3-gun trigger. He's got a Tango down grip, and then a B5 SOP mod stock. And then, did you mention your vertical grip? You did not mention your vertical grip. I don't know who makes that just by looking at it. But yeah, that looks sick, and it looks like, it kind of looks like everything was like a Battlefield pickups minus the gun, because the gun looks really clean, but all your FDE accessories look like Battlefield pickups. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Chuck. I really dig that build. All right, this next build comes from Matt, and he built this for his YouTube channel called Kentucky Tactical. He built it specifically for coyote hunting, and it's chambered in 22 ARC. So if you're interested in that, go check out his channel, Kentucky Tactical. And yeah, thank you for sharing, Matt. Let's get into it. So again, it's chambered in 22 ARC. I don't know anything about that caliber. He's got a Griffin Armament Recce 5K suppressor. He's got the Griffin Paladin 2 port brake taper mount for the muzzle device. The barrel is a 16-inch Faxon match barrel. He's got a BCM 15-inch MCMR M-Lock rail in FDE. We're seeing a lot of FDE BCM. I like it. I don't know why I keep bringing it up. It just looks cool. And I've gotten into BCMs this year too. He's got a stripped BCM upper, and that one he rattle can tan. He's got a Faxon 6.5 Grendel Type 2 bolt carrier group, which is needed for 22 ARC. He's got an Aero Precision M4E1 lower in the factory FDE. It's Aero Precision lower parts kit. He's got a Rise Armament Iconic trigger, a Magpul K2 grip, a Magpul PRS light stock, and then his optic is an Archon SH4J 6-24x50, and then he has it wrapped in tan fabric tape. You did not mention your mount for the optic. I can't read it from here. But yeah, overall your build looks nice, and then I like your tripod setup too. That looks good. I've shot on a tripod once, but I don't own one, and I'd like to get one at some point. So just on a side note, comment down below with what tripods you use. I think that one is a Death Grip. I think that's the one my friend let me use one time. But yeah, overall your build looks awesome. Again, I don't know anything about that caliber, but I'll check out your channel and see how you did with it. So thank you for sharing, Matt. All right, next up we have a build from Pedro, and this thing is looking sweet. All right, from tip to butt, he's got a Daniel Defense DDM4 M4A1 R3. So that is the whole gun an R3? Because I can't tell from the lower. Normally the R3s are the new M-Lock two-piece handguards, like their Mark 18 or M4A1s. But then the R3s also have their newer lowers that are ambi, but this doesn't look like one of those lowers. So I'll read more into your build list, but that looks nice. He's got a Dead Air 3-prong flash hider on there. He has the factory 14.5-inch barrel. He's got Scalarworks front and rear sights, the fixed ones. Those look good. He's got a Magpul angled grip. That's their AFG. He's got DD rail scales, which I believe is just those two black M-Lock covers. If that's Daniel Defense, I haven't seen that before, so that's cool. He's got a Radian 45-degree safety selector and a Radian charging handle. And then he's got an Armageddon gear sling, which that looks nice. He's got a Scalarworks Leap mount, and it's the 2.26 inches high. He's got an EOTech EXPS3 in tan, and then an EOTech G45 magnifier with the EOTech mount. That riser looks good. It looks like your magnifier is like higher than your EXPS. I can't see a good clear view of that riser, but that looks interesting. And then trigger, he's got a Geisley SSAE trigger, factory Daniel Defense pistol grip. He's got a B5 Bravo stock with the Irregular Defense Fear riser. And then he says he hasn't had a chance to swap out the pistol grip, but he'll change it to flat dark earth. So I'm assuming you had this stuff Cerakoted, because I haven't seen this Daniel Defense in this color before. I know they have like their FDE V7s, but I haven't seen an M4A1 in this color scheme. But that looks really good. Comment down below if you had this Cerakoted yourself, because I don't think this was a Daniel Defense offering, but maybe I missed it. So either way, it looks awesome. And then if you don't have a suppressor for it yet, I'd recommend the Dead Air Sandman S and Mill, which is their FDE one. I have two of them now, and so far I like them. So thank you for sharing, Pedro. All right, this next one comes from Raphael, and this is another SIG Spear. This one's a 16-inch barrel in 5.56, and that looks sweet. All right, he's got a Steiner DRS 1X Defendu reflex sight. I don't know if you meant to put Defendu or Defender. Sorry. But yeah, the Steiner DRS reflex sight. I've never used one of those, but it looks nice. He's got a Cloud Defensive Rain 3.0, and that 3.0 kind of looks like their OD green one. It's kind of hard to tell from the picture. He's got a Somo Gear fake PEG 15. He put FEC 15, that's funny. Yeah, it's just a fake laser, but apparently they still work pretty good. He's got a BCM VGM3, which is that M-LOK vertical grip. He's got an HRF magwell. He's got, I can't remember the name, but I see the abbreviation, the Die-Free Kung Fu grip. It's DFCO. I forgot the full name for it, but DFCO Kung Fu grip. But we've been seeing a few of those now. That I think it's Die-Free something. He's running a Faro Concept Slingster. And that's all he put in the build list. But other than that, I mean, it looks like a mostly factory MCX spear. He's got those M-LOK rail panels on the side, which I think those are rail scales, but correct me if I'm wrong. Your rear sight, that's a super low profile rear sight. It kind of looks like the Bob Rowe one, because I have something similar to that, but I could be wrong on that as well. I like the sticker on your PMag. Other than that, he didn't mention anything else, but I dig it. One thing I noticed, so it looks like you cropped your MCX from whatever background it had. In one of the pictures, you're missing your trigger, and I think that's kind of funny. But that's like an easy thing to miss. But in the one picture, he's got the trigger, and the other picture, he doesn't get the trigger. But it's just because it's cropped. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Raphael. I really dig that. I want to get an MCX spear one of these days. And yeah, I don't know if I want the 16-inch or the 11.5 because I already have the 11.5 Virtus. So maybe I should get the 16-inch. But I really like your build, and I could definitely see myself doing something like that. So thank you for sharing. This next build comes from Veto. He's still debating on Cerakoting the lower or just leaving it anodized. Well, I kind of like your 50 shades of green and tan, so I think you should leave it, but comment down below with what you guys think he should do. But I dig the multi-tone FDE in green. So he's got a Strike Industries Miller Comp, and it's pinned on there. It's a Ballistic Advantage 13.9-inch mid-length barrel, and it's a 1 in 7 twist. He's got a Geisley Mark 14 13.5-inch rail. He's got an Arisaka 18650 dual fuel with a Malkov E2 XTL head. And then he's got a Surefire DS SR07 switch assembly. He's got an Arisaka offset mount. I always think it's crazy how much money and different brands you can put into one flashlight on a gun, but I mean, there's a lot of options nowadays, which is cool. He's got a Voltor MUR 1A upper receiver. He's got a BCM bolt carrier group, a Geisley ambi charging handle. He's running a Primary Arms Gen 2 Cyclops, and it's a 1 power. He's got a PDQ ambi bolt catch and release. He's got a Geisley G2S trigger, a Radian 45-degree safety selector. He's got the Arrow enhanced buffer tube. He's got the BCM H2 buffer in there with a Springco white. He's got a Magpul K2 XL grip, a Fab Defense buttstock, and then a Edgar Sherman sling. And I like the Tropic Multicam sling. Yeah, that looks really cool. I haven't seen too many FDE and green builds like this, but it looks really good, and I think you should just leave it as is. If anything, add more colors to it. I noticed you don't have some flip-up sights on there. Throw some green flip-up sights on there. I think that'd be cool too. So, yeah, thank you for sharing, Veto, and I dig the build. I think everyone would agree. But yeah, thank you for sharing. And then we have one more, guys. So this last one comes from Adam from Stovepipe TV. You didn't mention if that's a YouTube channel or not, but go look it up, Stovepipe TV. And this is his PSA Jakl. And I've been seeing a lot more Jakls recently, and they look sick. And something that's different about them that maybe not everyone knows about is, unlike the Scar, which is a short stroke gas piston system, this is a long stroke piston system. So I think that's cool that they made it different, because it does look very similar to the Scar and some other stuff, but it's long stroke. Alright, so again, it's a PSA Jakl 5.56 with a 14.5-inch barrel, and then it's got a pinned, rugged 3-prong flash hider on there. He's running a Rugged Razor 7.62 with a 5.56 flash hider end cap. He's running rail scales on the M-LOK rail. He's got an Emissary mini handbrake. He's got an Ed Sherman design sling. Midwest Industries QD sling mounts. It's got the Reptilia 30mm ASU mount, and then it's a 1.7-inch mount. He's running an EOTech Voodoo 1:6 SR1 reticle. He's got a Rise Armament RA140 flat face trigger, and then he's got Radian safety selectors on there. And yeah, that looks super nice. Other than that, I mean, it's mostly just a stock PSA Jakl. Only other thing that I could maybe see is you throw like an offset red dot or offset iron sights on there. But other than that, I mean, you basically got it squared away. Oh, also light. Light-wise for that, I like, again, Cloud Defensive. I like Mod Light. I do like Surefire. I do run a lot of Surefires, but just if I'm buying new lights, I would say Mod Light or Cloud Defensive have been ones that I really like. And I know there's all the Arasaka stuff now, the Malkov. I don't have any experience with that yet, but yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that you're kind of missing would be a light and maybe some iron sights if you want. But other than that, thank you for sharing, Adam. And yeah, these were a lot of great FDE builds for this viewer build video. So thank you all for sharing. Thank you again, everyone that submitted pictures for this week's build video. And we got a lot of great submissions. And if you want to be a part of next week's viewer build video, here's the theme. So I'm going to go with what Ryland said, and we are going to do war era firearms, specifically World War I and World War II. I'm going to leave it open. And since this is going to be like, I don't really want like sporterized guns, I want more original guns, so there's not going to be really a build list on these. So I'm going to make it a little bit more open in the fact that if you want to take like a group shot picture of World War I or World War II or a mixture of both, we could do that. Now don't put like 50 guns in one picture, that's a lot. But if you want to do like a few guns, like key guns, like I have a couple here that I'll show you, that's going to be fine. So I have some World War I guns right here. This is a Colt US Army 1911, and it was made in 1918. It's still got the US property mark stamp right here, and it's stamped 1911 US Army on the side. And the date of this serial number dates it to 1918, which is cool. I also have a Smith & Wesson double action 45 or a model 1917 US Army. This is also made in 1918, and it's chambered in a 45 Grim caliber, but you can also shoot 45 ACP out of this with moon clips, which is really cool. And my last one here is a Springfield 1903 chambered in 30-06 that was also made in 1918. So I kind of have my World War I collection right here. And yeah, it's okay if there's not like proof marks or anything on your guns, but ideally like historically correct guns, nothing like this one, which this is a Remington 1903. I think this one was dated to like 1943. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I got it cheap. So yeah, no sporterized guns. It's just not going to fit the vibe. So yeah, let's avoid those. But yeah, the theme, again, World War I, World War II. It's okay if you do a couple in a picture. And I know some of these are like longer guns. So let's say you did a group picture with the handguns in this. You can get like maybe a close-up picture or two. Just, I don't want 5 to 10 pictures. That'd be too much. Maybe like 2 to 3 ideally, just because it gets hard if I have to sort through too many pictures. But in the description, just put, Colt 1911 US Army property stamped, and then the date. You don't have to break down every barrel or trigger or any upgrades done to it. Just the base gun and what it is. So this one, Springfield 1903, made in 1918, chambered in 30-06. That'd be fine. So yep, that's going to be the theme for next week. And if you want to submit for that, what you're going to do is email those pictures and the list of the guns to my email. It is sales@atroxco.com. And yeah, I'll get you guys into next week's viewer build video. Try to have them all submitted by Wednesday. Anything after Wednesday, I may not be able to get into the video just because it takes time to edit it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to seeing all those guns.